St. Maximilian is such a great example to us as a Christian. He's a great example to me personally as a priest, you know, what a priest should be to his people and to God. And then I also think, and Alison, maybe you can share your thoughts on this, Maximilian's example in a time of trial like we're in right now. You know, what his example, we're not in concentration camps, so that's not the comparison. But it doesn't mean that we're not in any, we are also in a time of trial like he was in his life, so.
Yeah, I think there's a lot we can draw from that story when you're talking about what saints to share with all of you. I think that St. Maximilian Kolbe is such a good one too, because for me a big part of his story is that he was able to find joy in the hardest times. So yes, his particular example was during the Holocaust, but what does it look like for us to find joy in the hardest times? And my friend and I were actually in Poland in November. We were able to go to Auschwitz, which was a really intense experience, and we could walk by his cell. And just seeing the darkness of his cell and how small it was, and then to hear you talk about how he would be in there praying the rosary and being joyful, I mean, that's not happiness, that's joy. There's a difference. So for those of us just trying to get through these next weeks, months, whatever that looks like, you know, what does it look like to be joyful? And I think too, if those of us that have faith, we're very lucky, we're very blessed. Are we keeping that to ourselves, or are we having the courage to say something? You know, I have a lot of friends who are not in the church or who don't agree with the church. It's easier for me to talk to my friends that do believe in God and not just say, you know, hey, how are you doing? I'm going to pray for you. Is there anything I can pray for you for? So that's how you can have the courage like St. Maximilian and ask him to pray for you and, yeah, to help you in this time. Any other thoughts on that?
I think the other example that he gives, it hit me, was he turned to God to give him the creativity and the strength to be able to practice the faith in unique circumstances. So he was, like I said, I mean, he was used to being a priest in a monastery doing his work, and then one day he was arrested and he was in a concentration camp. And many of the things that he did day to day were it just wasn't possible for him to celebrate Mass every day. It wasn't possible for him to only, you know, make a magazine. It wasn't possible for him to do a lot of things. And he didn't just kind of sit back and go, well, I guess we'll just kind of wait this out and see maybe if I'll find God and faith when all of this ends. He immediately turned and started saying, no, God is right here in this moment. Circumstances may have changed, but God is not. So, and I think in our time, you know, circumstances have changed, at least for a time, but God is not. The faith is not, you know. To still have a desire for the Eucharist, to still love your family, to make your home a place of prayer, to reach out to your neighbors and friends, to be diligent about finding God in the day-to-day activities, even when circumstances have changed, so that when the normalcy has returned, you have been growing, like Maximilian was growing, to become a great saint during this time of trial, that you're better equipped when the normalcy returns to just live the life of faith in the good times.
Right. And St. Maximilian Kolbe was, before he was St. Maximilian Kolbe, just a regular person.
Yeah, just Father Maximilian.
So, yeah. Who knows what we can all look like years from now if we lean into that and we try to build those habits. So, hope you enjoyed the Stories of the Saints with Father Vaccaro.
That's right, and Alison.
Yes.
St. Maximilian Kolbe, pray for us. God bless you all.